Welcome. This is Donna Fine with More Than Review, and I am here at the Christian Book Association's International Christian Retail Show, and thrilled to be here with Mary. I just told her that I've been stalking her on the web, and I loved her information. So I do recommend that you go to her website, but you're going to learn a little bit about her here. So Mary, tell us about yourself and your books.
Yeah, so I've written about 35-ish books, and I also am a speaker and speak around the world, and I also help authors launch their books and write amazing books. So that's kind of some of the things that I do, and I love Jesus, so there's that part too.
Yay! So when you're speaking, what topics do you cover as a speaker?
Yeah, as a speaker, I'm talking a lot about how to recover from a difficult past that reflects my own story, and basically, you know, what does God do to heal you from just trauma, brokenness, abuse, stuff like that.
Wow, very good. So tell us, was it challenging or healing experience? Kind of share your own story.
Yeah, so I grew up in a difficult home. There was drug abuse, sexual abuse, not inside the home but outside the home, and several divorces and things like that. And so by the time I was, 13, 14 years old, I didn't know anything about Jesus, and I just wanted to end my life. So it was later, when I was 14 and 15 years old, I started hearing about Jesus, and that's when eventually I met Jesus, and I wish I could say, and then everything was perfect, and that's all you need to do, but that's not true. It's been years of just walking through this process of chasing after Jesus for healing, and counseling, and all the things that you do to get better.
So what, if there's one thing you would recommend for a woman feeling like she's going through that same thing, what would it be?
I think it's really the pursuit. There's no such thing as passive healing, so you can't just like hang out on the couch and expect to be healed. It is something that you must do and want more than your dysfunction. A lot of us think our dysfunction, it becomes really, really safe for us because it's very familiar. And so when Jesus was talking to to the paralytic, he asked him, do you want to get well? And I think that's the question for all of us as women. Do you want to get well? And if you want to get well, then there is some element of pursuit.
Yeah, I love that. So what amazing, audacious story influenced you the most?
Wow. I think of my friend Paul in Ghana, and he once told me that for 10 years he never knew when his next meal was coming. And I couldn't imagine for 10 years not knowing if I was going to have breakfast or lunch or dinner or anything that day. And then he also asked me this question. He said, what do you do when you're sick or your children are sick? And I said, as an American, the first thing I do is I call the doctor. And I realized in that moment, he said, well, Mary, the first thing I do is I pray. And I realized that's an economic decision, and that showed me a little bit of what my God was. It was money. I was running to the almighty dollar instead of the almighty God. So he inspires me.
Awesome. Okay, so my last question. When and where did God begin to change your storm into a story?
I wish I could say there was like this moment, but healing is so layered. It's been over the years. I would say some significant healing happened to me where the storm turned into a story is when my youngest daughter reached the age I was when I was raped. So I was 5 years old when it happened, and when my oldest daughter, when she reached that age, it made me fall apart, and I realized how little I was when it happened, and that's when I started getting some counseling, and God just really began to move that, or turn everything around from being a victim to just this longing to see other people set free and to be whole. So instead of focusing on me, I was starting that shift between that and going outward, and how can I tell my story in a way that helps other people heal from their stories.
That is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
We're on Facebook Live, so if you missed that, you could go back to the website and see us there. Thank you.